Hi everyone, welcome to our 5th tutorial. In this video, we'll discuss the reporting layer in addition to the web assistant operations. Reporting is responsible for formatting the advice before it gets displayed to the user. Web Assistant Report can hold any number of pages. Each page can hold unlimited number of elements. Some of these elements may take the whole page width, whereas some others may take only part of it. If there are two partial width elements defined in sequence, then they'll be placed beside each other. Otherwise, they'll be placed after each other. Each page can have some static and dynamic elements. Static elements are those elements displayed regardless of any interpretation. On the other side, dynamic elements rely on the values retrieved from the interpretations. The page visibility depends on the dynamic elements it has. For example, if there's a dynamic element relying on a value that didn't get interpreted, then the page holding this element would be invisible. There are 7 types of report elements. The first one is the static text. It's a static text paragraph that will be displayed inside the page unconditionally. The same for the static pictures. They're pictures that will also be displayed unconditionally. Text interpretation is a dynamic text paragraph. Its value is taken from a text interpretation. If this text didn't get interpreted by any process, then the whole page will be invisible. You can use this element if you like to display a dynamic text or control the page visibility. All the next elements will control the page visibility too. Dynamic chart is a graphical chart that's rendered based on an interpreted number vector or matrix. Dynamic table represents a table to be filled from an interpreted vector or matrix. Dynamic picture represents a pre-uploaded picture that has its name interpreted from one of the processes. For example, we may need to display an image based on the user answers. In this case, we'll upload all possible images using the Dynamic Image tool. Afterwards, based on users' answers, our logic will select one of them to be displayed. Finally, Cards area can hold clickable cards that can redirect the user to other websites. Each page can be marked as Demo or Non-Demo. You don't need to use this option if your web assistant will be free to use. Demo pages are those pages that don't require payments to be displayed. Non-demo pages will be displayed only to those who pay the usage fees. Now, I'll double-click on the Reporting icon to open the Reporting Designer. By default, there's a single page created for us. I'll create a new page and drop this one. I'll start with adding a dynamic image for showing a pet from the same breed selected by the user. This image is dynamic, therefore, it relies on the logic interpretations. Let's add a dynamic text that holds the disease description. I'll add a header for the treatment. Finally, I'll add a dynamic text that represents the suggested treatment for the pet disease. All this information is coming from the logic. Now, I'll click on Publish. You should publish your web assistant only if its logic is ready to be tested. If you faced any problem while publishing your web assistant, then please get back to your logic. In our case, everything is fine. I'll click on Simulation to test everything in the web assistant. Let's answer these questions. Now, I'm done, so I'll click Send. Here we go. This dynamic picture is showing us a bulldog because we selected a bulldog breed in our answers. In our logic, one of the processes interpreted this image based on our answers. Here's the disease interpretation. Here's the header. And finally, here's the treatment interpretation. All the elements in this page are dynamic except this header. Let's get back to the designer. I'll assume that my web assistant is ready to be used, so I'll click the Live button. This button will make the assistant visible in Advicenode search result as well as in different search engines' results. It will also enable this menu. I can use it to share my web assistant on different social networks. You can adjust your assistant settings by opening this page. In this page, you can adjust its information, pricing, domain, and much more. You can define here some question for feedback to find out how satisfied your users are. You can also monitor your web assistant usage using the Statistics page. If you like to hide your assistant from Advicenode search result, click on the Archive icon. You can also permanently delete it using this button. Finally, you can read more about the assistant reporting as well as its operations by visiting docs.advicenode.com. For any questions, please visit discuss.advicenode.com.